the internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winfred Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than entertainment.
This week on Central Expressions.
Today we're out here in Mother Nature. We're at the Gulf View Hotel hosting our first annual Marriage Maneuvers Through Kingdom Principles.
And today at the Black River Film Festival, even though it's so hot, it was good, guys.
And today we'll talk about ownership of land.
Tune in to Central Expressions on CVM TV Sundays at 3 p.m. Repeat Fridays at 9 a.m.
It's time for the Midday News. It's Thursday, November 7, 2024. I'm Ramon Gordon. Thank you so much for joining us. Government Senator Don Webby has resigned from the Senate following an earlier leave from his role at Grace Kennedy due to health reasons. Webby has served in the upper house since 2016 with a previous two-year term. His career includes significant contributions as senator and minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Finance, as well as Group CEO of Grace Kennedy Limited. Moving on now, the first hearing regarding Prime Minister Andrew Holness' legal challenge against the Integrity Commission is set to be heard in the Supreme Court today. This case arises from a report released by the IC that scrutinizes Holness' financial affairs and questions his compliance with statutory declarations. The report spans 171 pages, was tabled in Parliament on September 17, 2024. Holness is seeking judicial review of the IC's investigation and its findings. He claims the report is flawed and unfairly suggests unethical conduct on his part. Specifically, he aims to invalidate the report, terminate all investigations into his financial dealings, and challenge certain provisions of the Integrity Commission Act, as well as sections of the Corruption Prevention Act that pertain to illicit enrichment. His legal team has outlined approximately 30 points for judicial review. Holness is represented by King's Counsel Georgia Gibson-Henlin from Henlin Gibson-Henlin Law Firm. On the other side, King's Counsel Michael Hylton represents the Integrity Commission and its officials. The respondents include two senior executives from the Commission, Director of Information and Complaints Craig Beresford and Director of Investigations Kevon Stephenson. Newly appointed Finance Minister Favour Williams promises to make road repairs a priority following the passage of Tropical Storm Raphael recently. Minister Williams was speaking to a crowd of Jamaica Labour Party supporters at the Pembroke Hall Centre after the nomination of Dwayne Smith in northwestern St Andrew Wednesday.
Ladies and gentlemen, I know that we have just come out of yet another disaster yesterday with the rains. And I can see the damage across the corporate area in particular of all the roads. I know that out in other parishes, we're getting reports of damage done to roads. And I just want you to know that I assured the Prime Minister this morning that the damage done by the tropical storm yesterday, we are ready. Yes.
At least one diaspora leader, Dr. Karen Dunkley, believes that the Democratic Party's shift to the left may have caused the dissatisfaction leading to the loss for Kamala Harris.
There is a persistent disenchantment that was taking place around the economy. We saw that play up quite heavily. We saw inflation, that individuals, even those who insist that they're certainly not anti-immigrant, that they had very visceral reactions to the unchecked migration described as the border crisis. We see some of the other issues in terms of what the Democrats described as reproductive rights and healthcare choices for women, and really saying to them that, look, that maybe it is that the Democratic Party had perhaps moved too far to the left.
And immigration attorney Shaku Clark believes that many of Biden's liberal immigration policies may be overturned, but there is still hope for high-skilled immigrants to find a legal path to residency.
In terms of mass deportation, I'm not sure if that was campaign talk or it's something that will be executed. But as you know, with Mr. Trump, when it comes down to immigration, you cannot take him lightly. So I definitely see that there or foresee that there will be some mandates for expedited removals. I definitely see a lot of the Biden immigration policies that they will be repealed and will be reversed. And then I also, well, it's an unpopular opinion where Trump and immigration is concerned. I actually do see a brighter future from an immigration standpoint when it comes on to specialized and immigrants with advanced degrees or who are in tech industry or in the healthcare realm.
A 29-year-old Westmoreland woman has died after reportedly being attacked with a machete in Truro District. The accused 42-year-old Dwayne Anglin now faces a murder charge in connection with her death. According to reports, the incident occurred around 3:30 a.m. on Sunday. The victim, Sidney Martin, reportedly became intoxicated and threw stones at Anglin's parked car outside his home. In response, Anglin reportedly chased Martin and inflicted multiple machete wounds to her upper body. Martin was rushed to the hospital where she was treated and admitted, but later died. Anglin was taken into custody on Wednesday following a police investigation and has since been charged with murder. The Morgan's Bridge police are continuing their investigation into this tragic incident. Still out west, a 25-year-old bartender, Safia Peart, has been charged with the fatal stabbing of her 23-year-old boyfriend, Dino Kangol. The incident happened last Tuesday at their home in Frome. Police reports indicate the couple got into a heated argument around 10:30 a.m., allegedly over infidelity. The confrontation turned violent, with both parties reportedly using knives. Kangol inflicted an injury on Peart, who then allegedly retaliated, fatally stabbing him. A police constable tragically lost his life Wednesday night in a crash involving his private car and a Jamaica Urban Transit Company bus in Greater Portmore, St. Catherine. The officer, who was reportedly driving alone, collided with the bus sometime after 8 p.m. The Jamaica Constabulary Force has confirmed the incident. More details will follow in subsequent newscasts. A growing group of parents is uniting to support their children with autism, using advocacy, creativity, and compassion to shape brighter futures and break down barriers for others. One parent shares her story on Sunrise.
I am a mom that was struggling to find a shadow for my son who is on the autism spectrum.
Okay.
It was absolutely frustrating and difficult. First and foremost, as a parent, when you find out that your child is on the spectrum, you go through a whole host of emotions. I went through different stages of depression. And it hit me that I needed to work on how I can protect my son.
Right.
I wanted someone who would be there for him, who would see him the same way I see him as his mother. And so I needed something more personalized that would show how amazing he is, somebody who can see him. And so I found Janelle after a whole host of interviews. I found Janelle, and she was the right person that I needed, who would nurture his gifts, nurture who he is as a person, and see beyond everything that autism brings, but develop that talent and get him to where he is. We saw report cards where he just did not want to do the test at all, to get in sub 50s, to grow into sub 80s, and it was all in the hard work of the shadowing and the work that we put into this company.
It's time for a break. Our discussion segment is next.
Drink Festival
Festival's Main Street and the Market is back in partnership with the Port Authority of Jamaica. Saturday, November 9, 3 to 10 p.m. at the historic Naval Dockyard in Port Royal, Kingston. Food trucks, restaurants, and chefs galore. Enjoy CV pan chicken, Helsha-style fish, gourmet pastas, veggie delights, street eats, and so much more. Guided tours, live entertainment, and kids zone. Park and ride with JUTC. Main Street and the Market. Saturday, November 9. Adults 2,000. Children under 10 free. Tickets at JA Food and Drink Kitchen on Cork's Constant Spring, Candy Craze Waterloo, CPJ Market, and Geno's Pharmacy Portmore. Pay with Visa or buy online at jafoodanddrink.com.
SuperMed Family of Pharmacies is your trusted partner in health and wellness for over 30 years. With 8 convenient pharmacies across Eastern Jamaica. SuperMed Mall Pharmacy, SuperMed New Kingston, SuperMed Pepine, SuperMed Port Antonio Pharmacies 1 and 2, Claire's St. Mary, Lloyd's St. Thomas, and a convenient drive-through at our Hylton location where you can get your medication without leaving your car. We're dedicated to providing you with the highest level of care. Experience the difference with SuperMed Family of Pharmacies. Super happy, super healthy.
And you go down and have a good day. Blessing. SuperMed.
Welcome back. November is celebrated as Youth Month, a call to action for youth all over to take control of their future. And the Ministry of Education and Youth, MOEY, will be launching Anti-Gang Week. Joining me now to discuss that is DSP Bruce. DSP Bruce, how are you?
Hi, good afternoon. I'm good.
Thank you. Tell us about this collaboration. Sure thing. Tell us about the collaboration with the Ministry of Education.
Okay, so gang-related activities among youth, especially in schools, pose a significant threat to the safety and security of our students. So the Ministry of Education, in collaboration with the Jamaica Constabulary Force, through CTOC and CSSB, we have joined forces. This is our 3rd year in celebration of Anti-Gang Week in schools. There will be a launch on Sunday, that's Sunday, November 10th, at the Pembroke Methodist Church, Pembroke Hall Methodist Church, that is, and then we'll have several activities through to the 16th of November.
Anti-Gang Week in schools. Now, we've heard instances of school fights, but I'm not certain that a lot of our viewers are familiar about the extent to which gang violence exists in educational spaces. Talk to us a little about some of the stories you've heard about school gangs.
Okay, so some of the stories we have heard leading from deviant actors being in possession of illicit weapons, as you have heard in the news, implements like knives, ice bricks, and such the likes. We are somewhat cognizant of the reality that these implements do play an integral role into the violence in our society, as we know, our current situation with the murder rate and such the like. So we are working assiduously in partnership with the Ministry of Education to do as much as we can to deflect these activities and cause our school environment to be a place of safety for those who are integrally involved.
Very nice. Let's talk about that deflection even further. The role of parents. I send my child to school and the next thing I hear they're involved in some gang activity. What should I be looking out for? You know, what are the signs? What questions should I be asking? And what message should I be giving my child also?
Okay, so the best thing for you to do is to look at the signs that are important. So some signs that you may want to look for are signs on signals, how they dress, different words that they use. There are some things that you as a parent, you're not readily off with, but it is good for you to understand that some signals, like hand signals and stuff, are things that you should pay keen attention to.
Now, we know we live in a very fast-paced society. Social media, for one, is such a great influencer. How do we engage youth that are sometimes so deeply engrossed with other things? How do we keep them out of harm's way?
All right, so our social activities, the things that are important, like the police groups, they are very much active. We do have school resource officers in the schools to participate in these activities and to give guidance in this respect.
Are students usually receptive to these sorts of interventions? Do they feel safe reaching out?
From where I sit, there are challenges, but for the most part, I must say yes. There is a robust effort now as we speak to roll out our school resource officers across the various schools. We have recently trained up some officers, so we have a large group of individuals trained and now placed in the schools to lend support in this regard.
Very well, let's go back to the Anti-Gang Week. What are some activities we can look forward to?
Okay, so on Monday, there will be an interview here on CVM, speaking more about the activities. For Tuesday, there will be the HFLE, that's the Home and Family Life training in the schools. On Wednesday, we will have a town hall in Mount Alvernia High. And also on Wednesday, CVM will have their violence concert over at the St. Andrew Technical High School. For Thursday, we are scheduled to have AntiGang Day in school, so we'll be in several schools across the island. Friday, there will be a concert at the Norman Manley High School, and we close off the week on Saturday with a church service at the Denby Seventh-day Adventist Church.
Very nice. You said it a while ago, violence in schools is absolutely nothing new, and we've heard a lot of people try to explain the violence, but I'd like to hear a first-hand account from you, DSP. What are some of the factors you've heard or observed that sort of contribute to this sort of incidents or these incidents in school?
Naturally, some of the things we have heard about things that happens in the home, things in the community, and they all form part and parcel as to what spill over into the school environment.
All right, DSP, final word, final message from you rather. Send a message to children who are probably being engaged by gangs or currently involved in gang activities now. What is your word to them?
Follow the trend. Bring gang in schools to an end. Gang is a dead end.
All right, fantastic. That was DSP Bruce, and we were talking gang violence in schools ahead of Anti-Gang Week. Thank you so much for joining us. The international news now. There are concerns about the impact on U.S. alliances in the Asia-Pacific region under Donald Trump's presidency. Already, China's foreign minister warns there will be no winners in a trade war. More from Al Jazeera.
For several years, the US has been building stronger ties with its allies in Asia-Pacific, especially Japan and South Korea, whose president called Donald Trump to congratulate him, but also, it seems, to seek reassurance.
I believe the trilateral cooperation between South Korea, the United States and Japan will proceed well during the next Trump presidency.
The leaders also discussed North Korea's recent launch of an intercontinental ballistic missile, as relations with Pyongyang are at their lowest point in years. The big question is whether Trump might try to resume diplomacy with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. For the island of Taiwan, too, there's uncertainty about whether it can count on continued US support in the face of growing threats from mainland China. China regards Taiwan as a breakaway province that it's promised to take back by force if it has to, and is deeply suspicious a new Trump administration might use the island in a wider dispute with Beijing over trade. China is bracing itself for a stiffer round of tariffs that Trump has promised and that could lead to retaliation.
So China is just waiting. They're just sitting there and say, okay, let's see what he comes. But it doesn't mean they're going to be passive. They will push back.
China says in calling Trump to congratulate him, President Xi Jinping reminded him that history has shown their two countries gain from cooperation but lose from confrontation.
Stay with us. Sports is next.
Make a move now, make a move Hi everyone, my name is Kurt Dunn.
Greetings from Kali's Kelly Yoga.
Hey, it's Robin Morrison, and I am your National Physical Activity Specialist. And it's time to make a move.
Jamaica, let's get moving again. Season 2 of the Ministry of Health and Wellness Jamaica Move series is here. Join us Wednesdays at 5 a.m. and Saturdays at 8 a.m. right here on CVM TV. Let's get moving. Make a move now.